Hi, I am Amma Duncan. I'm a corporate trainer and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Once again, I have the privilege of bringing to you the FWN Book Club meeting. The FWN stands for the Fabulous Woman Network. We support the growth of women-led businesses with entrepreneurial skills development, networking opportunities, access to markets, access to a co-working space and event space available in Kumasi. And on Facebook, we have a group called the Fabulous Woman Community, where there has been a lot of sharing and learning. Today, the book I will be reviewing is The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. As usual, I've got my notes written in my favorite notebook, and this time I have the book on a tablet, so it will be easy for me to refer. Now, why did I start this book club? I always like to explain. It's because I really want to encourage the women and men within our network. Yes, I know there are men in our network too. I want to encourage us to read. I believe reading opens a lot of doors. Personally, it has opened doors for me, and I want to encourage same for not only the people I mentor, but people within my network as well, and anyone else, of course, who has access to these videos. So the usual format is I am going to go, through an overview of the book, and this time I want to just pick one of the laws to review, and I might be reading a bit more than usual, and I'll explain why. And then, well, once you are done watching this video, if you've got any questions, wherever you are watching it, either on YouTube or LinkedIn, just feel free to post the questions. As soon as I see it, I will respond to it. Right. I just also want to use this opportunity to let you know that I have recently launched a course on networking. Personally, I believe in the power of networking to help you move from where you are to where you want to be in terms of your business, your career, or wherever it is that you are in life and you are looking to go somewhere. This course, Networking Made Easy online course, will help you know what networking is and how to even use it, the different aspects of it that you can use to become who you want to be. You can access this course at fabhub.teachable.com. That is fabhub.teachable.com, and it's 100% online, so you can take it wherever you are. So far, some of the students have been in the US, UK, Netherlands, Ghana. As long as you have access to internet, you can also take it anytime at all that is convenient for you. There are 12 short videos. Each video is between 3 and 12 minutes, and you can take the course as many times as you feel you need to. You can watch it as many times as you want. There are reflection activities that you can take as well with this course. When you are done, we will send you a very lovely certificate, which some people feel that they should print and paste on their walls. You can feel free to do that. So that's fabhub.teachable.com. Now let's get into the book, and if you see me looking down, it's because I am looking through my notes or reading from the tablet, which I'll be doing quite a lot, so please bear with me. Now, I usually like to say a bit about the author of the book, and if you don't have this book, you can actually get it off Z Library, which is online. Z Library. Right. So about John Maxwell, or most of us, not just me, know him to be an author. He's a speaker, he's a pastor, he talks about these all the time, and his books have sold millions around the world. But for me, I really love the way he writes, especially because he uses simple English and he uses lots of examples. I like that, his personal experiences. I learn better when you're telling me stories. I also like the fact that he is very real. In a lot of the books that he's written that I've read, he would share even negative things that happened or mistakes that he made and how he learns from them. And I really love it when people who are mentoring me can be that honest and tell me the truth. So this is one of the main reasons why I love reading John Maxwell books. Now, the laws. I'm first of all going to go through there are 15 laws. I'll just mention them. I won't really go into detail. Like I said, I will pick only one, which is the 13th law, and I will go a bit deeper and share my comments on that. So the 15 laws are as follows. The law of intentionality. He goes on to say, growth doesn't just happen. 2. The law of awareness. You must know yourself to grow yourself. 3. The law of the mirror. You must see value in yourself, add value to yourself. I love that. 4. The law of reflection. Learning to pause allows growth to catch up with you. This was also one of my favorite laws, but today I shall not discuss that. 5. The law of consistency. Motivation gets you going, discipline keeps you growing. 6. The law of environment. Growth thrives in conducive surroundings. Love that. 7. The law of design. To maximize growth, develop strategies. 8. The law of pain. Good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. 9. The law of the ladder. Character growth determines the height of your personal growth. 10. The law of the rubber band. Growth stops when you lose the tension between where you are and where you could be. This one is also very nice. 11. The law of trade-offs. You have to give up to grow up. 12. The law of curiosity, one of my favorites. Growth is stimulated by asking why. 13. The law of modeling. It's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. So this is the actual law that I will be talking more about in this video. 14. The law of expansion. Growth always increases your capacity. 15. The law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. I love that. So this is the final law, and like I said, we are going to go through just the the one law that I mentioned. Usually I do 3 lessons, but for this law in particular, there are quite a few things. When I was making my notes, I was thinking actually this is a bit much, but I felt that each thing I had written down, so I've got like 3 pages actually. It's like each thing that I've written down, I feel must be in this video. So I'll do the best I can to go as quickly as possible. But like I said, please, this book is available on Amazon, Z Library. You can call those who sell books or go into a library and find it. John Maxwell's books are very easy to find. They are quite popular, so please find it and read it. It's really worth the read. So to start with, I am going to read page 218 according to my tablet. I don't know which device you'll be reading, but it might be different. So I'm actually going to start with actually page 218, right? And I'll just read a bit. I highlighted a few portions that I want to read, and I'll share the 3 lessons I gleaned from that before I talk about the main part of today's presentation. Right, so I read. Personal growth without the benefit of personal mentors could only take me so far. If I wanted to become the leader I desired to be and believed that God had created me to become, I needed to find models who were ahead of me to learn from. Why? Because it's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. That's the lesson of the law of modeling. We are talking about the law of modeling, which is the 13th law. Now, I'll keep reading. Whom should I follow? I have learned a lot from people I have never met. Dale Carnegie taught me people skills when I read How to Win Friends and Influence People in junior high school. James Allen helped me understand that my attitude and the way that I thought would impact the course of my life when I read As a Man Thinketh. And Oswald Sanders revealed the importance of leadership to me for the first time when I read his book, Spiritual Leadership. Most people who decide to grow personally find their first mentors in the pages of books. Can I just stop and say amen to that? That is a great place to start. For that matter, it's a great place to continue. I am still learning from dozens of people every year that I will never meet, but at some point, you must find personal models too. If you follow only yourself, you will find yourself going in circles. I want to just pause here and tell you, as I read this, the lesson I gleaned from this particular paragraph I just read. Start by getting mentored through books. You need a mentor, start through books. Personally, I believe in that. I've been mentored so many times by people who don't know I exist, including John Maxwell himself. He mentors me all the time when I read or listen to him. There are so many other people that have written great books that we can glean from. So even if you don't have access to them one-on-one, I don't know if I will ever have access to John Maxwell. It will be a lovely opportunity. But for now, I'm very grateful that I have access to as many of his books as possible. So my first point, or the first lesson in this very one that I've read on Law of Modeling, says start by getting mentored through books. I will read on. I have had the privilege of connecting with many leaders whose modeling I have found worthy of imitation. People such as consultant Fred Smith, speaker Zig Ziglar, and coach John Wooden have helped me tremendously. Others who look better from a distance than they actually were when I got to know them turned out to be a disappointment, which just goes to show that you must be selective when it comes to choosing mentors and models. I smile every time I think of the two derelicts sunning themselves on a park bench. The first guy said, "The reason I'm here is because I refuse to listen to anyone." The second guy responded, "The reason I'm here is because I listen to everyone." Neither course of action is helpful. You must be selective in who you choose as a mentor. From both the positive and the negative experiences I've had with mentors, I have developed criteria to determine the worthiness of a model for me to follow. I share them with you in the hope that they will help you make good choices for this area of your growth. Now, I'm going to pause here as well and tell you two lessons I gleaned from these paragraphs that I've just read. One, the person you look up to, or you call role model or mentor, may actually not be who you think they are. It happens. They are human beings too. They could either be pretending, or they would show you the best part and leave out the ugly parts. Whichever way, just be careful, and also know that it is quite possible that the person you know through social media or TV or wherever you love may not actually be who you think they are. Secondly, you don't need to listen to everyone. I mean, not everyone ahead of you can be your mentor or can be someone advising you. Definitely, you may have more than a few mentors like I do, but please be very selective. When it comes to choosing, I'm going to go in the next part of this, which is the main part. I'm going to talk about how to choose a mentor. But please, I want to say this. When it comes to choosing a mentor, please pray about it. Or choosing mentors, pray about it and ask God for directions. Now I'm going to continue from page 219, and this time I'm going to talk or read his criteria for choosing a mentor. And while I'm reading as well, I will give, for each one of the criteria I share, I'm going to give a few examples. And because I really don't want this video to be very long, even though I've written 6 criteria here, I am just going to limit this to 3. Please bear with me. Right. The first one says, a good mentor is a worthy example. We become like the people we admire and the models we follow. For that reason, we should take great care when determining which people we ask to mentor us. They must not only display professionalism, excellence, and possess skill sets from which we can learn, they must also demonstrate character worthy of emulation or emulating. Many athletes, celebs, politicians, and business leaders today try to disavow being any kind of role model when others are already following them and mimicking their behavior. They want people to separate their personal behavior from their professional life, but such a division cannot really be made. So please, it is very important that when we are choosing examples, we look for people, who are consistent in their behavior. And whatever it is that they are showing you should be consistent. It shouldn't be, oh, 1 minute when I'm on TV, I'm respectful and all, but when I'm at home, no, I am not a respectful person. It is very important that they are showing you worthy example. Personally, for instance, one of my mentors when it comes to parenting is also my colleague. I've worked with, her name is Rita Krampa. I've worked with her for many years, and I respect her a lot when it comes to parenting, not because of what I've heard, but what I've seen her do with her children, how she's brought them up in a godly manner, how the children are responsible. I'm not saying they are perfect kids, but I believe she's done a great job, given that she's always been a career woman. She was a banker, and also I admire that, and because of that, I would choose such a person as a mentor. So that's why she's one of the people I even ask for advice when I need parenting tips. So that is one. And it goes on to say, let me just read. As you look for role models and mentors, scrutinize their personal lives as carefully as their public performance. Your values will be influenced by theirs, so you shouldn't be too casual who you choose to follow. I agree. Now, the second one I will talk about is, because I'm now having to select 3 out of them, right? So let me talk about, a good mentor has proven experience. The farther you go in the pursuit of your potential, the more new ground you will have to break. How do you figure out how to proceed? Benefit from others' experiences. As the Chinese proverb says, to know the road ahead, ask those coming back. And I feel that is very important. Somebody who has experience already, like I mentioned in Rita's case, for instance, then the person can show you the way. One of my mentors when it comes to business, her name is Marilyn Owusu. She's the CEO of ACE Consult, and she had been in business over 10 years before I even ventured. So obviously, she knew way more than I knew. And so I remember a couple of times I would book appointments to sit with her, ask her questions, and she was so given. And not, our relationship obviously goes beyond that, but I'm very grateful for the time she spent with me, those times when I really needed someone to advise me on business, and she was there for me. Now, the third one and the last that I will talk about, please get the book. You can get it off Z Library if you haven't read it already, because I really don't want to exceed. I see the time already almost 20 minutes, and I really do not want to go too much and take too much of your time. So please get the book and read. You can even get the audiobook. The final one I'll talk about is, a good mentor possesses wisdom. There is a well-known story of an expert who was called by a company to look at their manufacturing system. It had broken and everything was at a standstill. When the expert arrived, he carried nothing but a little black bag. Silently, he walked around the equipment for a few minutes and then stopped. As he focused on one specific area of the equipment, he pulled a small hammer out of his bag and tapped it gently. Suddenly, everything began running again, and he quietly left. The next day, he sent a bill that made the manager so ballistic. It was for $1,000. Quickly, the manager emailed the expert and wrote, "I will not pay this outrageous bill," without it being itemized and explained. Soon he received an invoice with the following words: For the tapping on equipment with hammer, $1. For knowing where to tap, $999. So this is the value of wisdom. Mentors with wisdom often show us where to tap, and this is very important. I remember one of my mentors as well. Her name is Dr. Sybil Pencil. She's Dr. Pastor Sybil Pencil. I remember I spent time with her when I had been in the US for about 2 months. I was returning home, and she advised me, "Amma, you're going home after such a long time. When you go, don't let the first thing you do be yelling at people when you see things are wrong. Maybe they've messed up the kitchen, the place is not clean, and everything is bad. Just be grateful that all is well, embrace them, and show them gratitude." I thought that was so wise, and these are the things that we need our mentors to do for us. So I'm just going to summarize what I have shared so far, and I'll even mention the points that I didn't talk about actually. So the lessons I gleaned from reading the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, the particular chapter we are talking about, which is the Law of Modeling. 1. Start by getting mentored through books. 2. The person you look up to may not be who you think they are. 3. You don't need to listen to everyone. Be selective, and please let God guide you. And for the 6 criteria, so it's actually 6, but I read 3. Please bear with me. I'm just going to read all of them. Get the book and you get all that. 1. A good mentor is worthy of example. 2. A good mentor possesses wisdom. 3. A good mentor has proven experience. 4. A good mentor possesses wisdom. 5. A good mentor provides friendship and support. 6. A good mentor is a coach who makes a difference in people's lives. So these are what I'm bringing to you today. I am going to post the next book